Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back again with another video. This is gonna be a quick video. I had saw this story a few days ago online and wanted to take some time and share it with you. First, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for the support on the other videos. Please share them. I'm on Twitter also. You can share the videos. Please consider donating using the links below. The Cash App, Venmo, all that stuff is down there. Um, but at the very least, just hit the thumbs up and get in the comment boxes. Um, so right to it. So I saw this article, um, New York from the New York Times. It says Trump donated to Kamala Harris's campaign when she was California Attorney General. So we're talking about like 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago, maybe 12 years ago at this point. And so at first, when this came to my attention, I took it with a grain of salt because I was like, what's the odds of that? It could be like a fake story. I didn't see any, proof in the article, but it just says Trump donated to Kamala Harris's campaign when she was California Attorney General. Years before either came close to the White House, Donald J. Trump gave $6,000 to her re-election campaign. His daughter Ivanka gave $2,000, and then that was it. So, I saw it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to do some of my own research before I start even talking about this type of stuff. And then basically in the article, it just goes to reiterate what I just read in the caption. But it just gives the time. So January 2011, September 2011, February 2013. His daughter gave money in 2014. And it says that it was first reported by the Sacramento B. Then it says a spokesman for Mr. Trump, Stephen Cheung, dismissed the donations. Okay, so this spokesman, Stephen Cheung, dismissed the donations, saying on Monday that at the time they were given, President Trump was a global businessman and knew how to play the game and win the game with corrupt politicians like Kamala Harris. Now he's going to finish the job of throwing all these crooked politicians out of office. Now, is that a spin job or what? So you can see why this guy, Stephen Chung, is a spokesman for for Donald Trump. I mean, the way he twisted that up and threw us a curveball, right? We have to try to break down what he was saying there. He says he was a global businessman, which has nothing to do with the donations, and knew how to play the game and win the game with corrupt politicians. So was he corrupt? He's supporting a corrupt politician. What is this guy trying to say here? And then of course he just goes off into another area. Now he's going to finish the job of throwing all these crooked politicians out of office. Again, folks, more of the whole divide and conquer. One side is 100% right, the other side is just crazy and they're destroying the country. That's this really immature narrative that's being constantly pushed, constantly presented to the people in the media, right? One side is wrong, the other side is right. You haven't heard one positive compliment be given from one side to the other. Trump hasn't said, hey, they did some good things, during this administration. We'll try to, even though we disagree, there's some good things that they did while they were in office, and we hope to continue on that, when we win the election. That's something to that nature. Or the Democrats haven't said about the Republicans, hey, they have some good ideas. Maybe we can, find some middle ground, right? That sounds crazy. You see, but what's constantly being said is they're crazy, they're fascist, they want to bring America back to the the dark ages, right? That's if you're Democrat, right? They want to they're homophobic, misogynistic, transphobic, all this stuff, right? They want to, separate babies from their mothers, right? With the border crisis and stuff and the migrants, right? If you listen to the Democrats, the Republicans want to, bring the Fourth Reich into existence. If you listen to the Republicans, the Democrats want to destroy the country, right? It's either all or nothing. And this is on purpose. This is to keep the people at each other's throats, right? The non-thinkers, the people that don't freely think, very susceptible to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all these shows with these talking heads. Then they go and spread the misinformation. It's like a virus. Then they go to work and spread the misinformation. Then they make it. If you check your Facebook right now, and social media, and you have like Republican friends, they'll see all these jokes and memes, right, about Kamala Harris now. Now she's the new focus. First it was Biden, he's old, and it was him, videos of him falling on the stairs and stuff like that constantly, right? So you can see there's no respect for the position, the president anymore. That kind of stuff was unheard of a long time ago. There's blatant disrespect of the president to office. No matter what side of the aisle you stood on, you had you had respect for the president. You would never disrespect a president like that. But now it just shows you how bad the society has deteriorated, where it's just basically anything goes. People are like, oh, Kamala slept her way to the top, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know how many girls would be at the top if that's all it took? Whether you agree with her or not, the woman's actually accomplished. You look at the things she's done, like whether you agree or not. And all of these people are very smart. And that's the thing. It's like you have people that are keyboard warriors, typing, making memes and stuff like that. Oh, this person's stupid. Oh, Kamala doesn't know how, know what she's talking about, this and that. But meanwhile, this lady is at the top, the highest office in the country. She's one step away from being at least the figurehead, so to speak, of the most powerful nation in the world. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about these donations. So I saw the article and I was like, let me do a little research. Let me see if I can find something a little more official. All right. So again, I saw the same thing here on Twitter, from the New York Times. So again, I started looking for sources. I didn't see any sources. I like to see more credible sources, because I know it's a lot during election time. There's a lot of stuff being said. Some's true, some false. So I wanted to do some research. So ultimately, I landed on this site, it's California site, powersearch.sos.california.gov, and you can search different election cycles. And here you can see I have checked 2015, 2016, 2013, 2014, because I wasn't sure when the actual donations took place at the time. So I just covered from 2009 to 2016. And here on the top, candidates, I just narrowed it down to Kamala Harris up here, Kamala D. Harris. And as far as donors, I just put contributors rather. I just put Trump. So because so much would come out. And so in the results summary at the top, it says $8,000 and three contributions. And it says Trump has contributed employee contributions $8,000 to candidates again re-elect Attorney General. So this is during the time where everybody always talks about how Kamala was locking people up and throwing away the key, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, she was locking up black people in California," and she was laughing about it. This is the time when she was Attorney General. So you can see there's three transactions here. The first one, start from the bottom. We see on September 26, 2011, says the Trump Organization, contributor entrepreneur, contributor name Donald J. Trump, Attorney General, for office sought. Attorney General for re-election. So he donates $5,000 to the campaign. The next one against Trump Organization again. This time it's $1,000. This is 2 years later, February 20th, 2013. Again, re-election for Attorney General. And then the next time is June 3rd, 2014. Again, Trump Organization, $2,000, but this time is from Ivanka Trump, which I believe is is that the daughter or the ex-wife? I think it's the daughter though. And so it's all together it's $3,000. So, I'm sorry, $8,000. So that's not a big deal, right? It's $8,000. But the point that I really want to drive home is, again, Republicans, Democrats, flip side of the same coin. Even though it's a small amount, just the fact that this is a rabbit hole in itself, because the way what I think, the first question I have in mind is what was Trump getting out of this, supporting the Attorney General in California, Kamala Harris. Also, it's a small world, right? Who's to know that 10 years later, or a few years later, Trump would be president, right? He became president in 2016, and then Kamala will be vice president after that, and now they're both running for president. And again, to me, this shows that it's a little leap. I'll be the first to admit it, but there's other situations, for instance, where somehow Barack Obama is supposedly related to George Bush, right? I don't know if that's an actual proven fact or not, but supposedly some kind of ninth cousin or something like that. But I mean, just the fact that Donald Trump actually contributed to her campaign at some point is just mind blowing to me, because what's the odds? What are the odds of this happening? And then, I mean, just gambling odds. You mathematicians out there, what are the odds of him contributing to her at this point, and then 10, 15 years later, they're both running for the office of president of the United States. One is already vice president, one has already been president. And they're on allegedly, right? Opposing sides of the political spectrum, but one supports the other just 15 years prior. And this is what I always emphasize, is that these people are all connected. Whether it's through business, investments, they can be on different sides of the political spectrum, of course, for the public view and public entertainment. But behind the scenes, they have the same business partners. They know the same people. They're probably part of the same fraternities, as we know for a fact with George Bush and I forgot the other politician that he defeated in I think it was 2004. They were both in the Yale together, in the Skull and Crossbones together. Somebody in the comments will write it down. But they were on opposing sides of the political spectrum. One's Democrat, one's Republican. But they had that bond there, that connection. And again, here's just a small example, but nevertheless, what are the odds of this. And that's why I believe that, again, this whole process is like a big show, like the Wizard of Oz, right? It's a charade. It's like, yeah, you're seeing all the big noises and sounds being made, but then when you go behind the curtain, it's just like just like a small, weak old man behind the curtain, like operating all of these bells and whistles. And so you're seeing all this stuff in the media constantly. And why? The only reason I could think of is distraction. Just distraction, so you don't look any deeper. You got to constantly keep things before your eyes, constantly keep you distressed. They just had another a police situation. Police, I got to be careful with my words because YouTube, man, wants to, demonetize and ban everything. Another police deletion, that's what people like to say, right? With the lady with the allegedly at the stove with the hot water and all that stuff like that, constantly putting stuff before your eyes, constantly stirring the racial pot. Always, you would, if you were like an alien, you came to the United States, you would think there were only two people in the country, white and black. You wouldn't think there were Asians, Indians, Native Americans. You wouldn't think there were any Latinos. You wouldn't think there were any other kind of people. You just think they were white and black because that's all they emphasize constantly in the media. And of course, it's on purpose. It's to keep the people constantly fighting. The division has to exist at all different levels. See, if the racism doesn't get you, right? Say you see through that and you're like, oh, that's propaganda. I'm not buying into that. They got something else for you. Then they hit you with the sexism, right? The feminist movement. Say they have something for you with that. So what does the feminist movement do? It pits men against women. See, it's always a division. So you got something. If that don't work, they have something else for you. And then they'll use the LGBTQ thing. Again, divide. What does that do? It divides up all of this stuff, all of these divisions, right? So then now you have 100 titles. Before it was just somebody was either straight or they were gay. Now all of a sudden, more divisions. Now it's straight, gay, queer, all of this. I don't even know all the letters, but it's just a whole bunch. Then they even create more divisions, right? Instead of male, female, now you have, the gender fluid and binary, non-binary, this and that. Create more and more divisions, because the more divisions you create, the easier it is to have some kind of conflict, to have some kind of issue. So, whereas to the point, if you call somebody a he on accident, my pronouns are they, them, or he/her, or whatever, this or that. And then it might change the next day. So even a person that has no ill intentions could accidentally offend someone because of all of this brainwashing. But again, it's all designed to constantly keep the public agitated, constantly keep the public divided, and it also constantly keeps the public distracted from the things that are really going on. So while, again, we're looking at Puff Daddy, we're looking at Usher, what happened with R. Kelly, we're looking at this, Bill Cosby a few years ago, Harvey Weinstein. All of these things are being done under the table. So then we don't know anything about Donald Trump supporting Kamala Harris. The way it's presented in the media, you would think they were arch enemies to have nothing to do with each other. Could it be that when it's all said and done, all of these people are laughing in our collective faces, that the joke is really on us? Right? That has never been about race at all, but it's been more about classism as opposed to racism or sexism. It's the elites wanting to maintain status quo and to keep things as they were. Even though you even going to Europe back in the 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, and you have these different kings in Europe in different countries, even though they have different sounding names, a lot of these kings, even today, these people are related to each other. These people are related to each other. A lot of people don't know, for instance, for example, the House of Windsor. That's just a made up name. The English royal house, House of Windsor, that's a made up name. They're of German ancestry. But how would that sound to the English people? Wouldn't sound too good, so make up a name. House of Windsor sounds very English. See, but by hiding that type of information, you don't understand that, hey, these guys are all relatives. They might not be brother and sister, but they might be first cousin, second cousin, third cousin. And these people have their history. They keep their history, these bloodlines. They know who's related to who. So when you see somebody like Barack Obama just come out of nowhere, never heard of him before, all of a sudden he's boosted up and raised up to the head of his party just out of nowhere. Right? People were crying. I remember when Barack got elected, people were crying. People were so emotional. And when you're that emotional, when you're that overcome, right? When you've been focused on race for so long and it's presented to you like that, it's impossible to see the Trojan horse. And I'm not even saying that's the case, right? I'm trying to be as objectively sound as possible. I'm not trying to influence anybody. I'm just trying to present, and then you just decide for yourself, or hopefully it inspires you to do your own research, or maybe you drop some knowledge on me. But at the end of the day, I guess my goal is just to try to bring people together. You know, even if it's just intellectually, and just taking the time to understand that all of it, that no, it's impossible for one side to be 100% right about everything, other side totally wrong. So when you see it presented that way, that the light bulb should be going off in your mind. But I just want to show you something real quick. So just a quick tangent. I had wanted to show you what I was saying about the House of Windsor name. So it says the British royal family's original name was Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, which was the family name of Queen Victoria's German-born husband, Prince Albert. In 1901, King Edward VII, the eldest son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, became the head of the House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha and succeeded the House of Hanover to the British monarchy. And then again, down here, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, the House of Windsor came into being in 1917 when the name was adopted. That's a nice word, right? Adopted. Hey, we just changed the name. Adopted as the British royal family's official name by proclamation of King George V, replacing the historic name of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. And just real quick, just think of the time, 1917. So in the midst of World War I, winding up. So, and of course, Germany was in the midst of that. So it might not have been too popular to have such a name, like at the top or on the English throne. So they say, hey, we should switch this name. But I just wanted to show you that. But again, a lot of people don't know. But the point that I'm making is that a lot of these people are related. Okay, so we see again in World War I and II, we see Germany, especially in World War II, Germany bombing these other European nations, like bombing England and stuff like that. And there's the classic speech by Winston Churchill, like, we'll fight in the hills and fight in the streets and all that kind of stuff like that. And at the end of the day, these are like brother nations. They're related. And I believe it's the same situation with these high-level politicians, that you're being given a story that these people come, from some kind of grassroots background, and they just struggled and just like you did, and went to public school just like you did, and they just worked real hard, and now they're at the top of the the political hierarchy. And it's a great story. It's like that's what you're supposed to believe. And again, since the media is controlled by them, there's no way for you to actually verify these things. So you don't know what's true, what's not. All you can do is kind of, try to put little pieces here and there together, and also use your instinct, your intuition, and try to steer away from something that just doesn't feel right. One more thing I wanted to show you. It's going back, so we leave that alone. Like I said, the House of Windsor thing, but that's something you could research, and how these people are related. But it's the same in America. I mean, a lot of these people, are related. If they're not related, they're related by blood. They're connected as far as maybe investments in the same businesses, what have you, and the fight publicly, in a political forum, in my opinion, is just a dog and pony show. It gives the people an illusion of choice. And I'm not saying we have no choice at all, but I just don't think that the choice is what it used to be. There's just too much money involved, too much political super PACs, these PACs like I talk about in the other videos that donate millions of dollars. These corporations, they just have way too much influence. And if you enter politics and you could go in fresh-faced, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Listen, once they get a hold of you, and it's impossible to not be beholden. And with that in mind, I want to show you this. So we see this article right here: Hollywood's warm embrace of Kamala Harris and their long history. I'm not gonna read the article. I just wanted you to see that picture. There's Kamala Harris all the way on your right, and two Hollywood, celebrities. Sean Penn in the middle, and what's her name? Hillary Swank on the left. And I just showed you this because, again, I always talk about it's the money that talks. It's not your interest that is going to be placed at the forefront. It's going to be the Hollywood, right? They have a lot of money. lot of money is going to her. So that's going to be her first priority. Whoever's giving the most money, that's going to be her first priority, not the people. And like I said, it just bothers me seeing these people, just crying, and like she's gonna do, like, basically it's like, unfortunately with a lot of black people, it's like if you just put a black face on it, they're going for it, they're backing it. That's it. It doesn't matter. It's like they black, okay. So that's the easiest deception in the world. That's the easiest Trojan horse. That's actually how a lot of people get scammed out of their finances. If you ever watched that old show American Greed, they call it an affinity scheme. An affinity scheme is when you are close to the people that you're scamming. So Bernie Madoff conducted one of the largest affinity schemes of all time. I believe it was $65 billion. And so who was he closely related to? It was the Jewish community. He was Jewish. Most of his clients were Jewish. So they trusted him. They all had this common faith. That's the affinity. That's how you get people. Hey, I'm one of you. That's the most dangerous. That's very dangerous. That's easy. That's the easiest way to get people. You become one of them, or you are one of them. You don't have to fake it. You actually are one of them. You just got a wicked heart. So a lot of black people fall for that. You just put the black face out there, and it's like, oh, one of us. Like, all right. and that person sold out. That's why you have to look. That's why you have to look deeper into that, because ultimately we're spiritual beings. It's not about what's on the outside. I know it sounds kind of corny, because people looking at your appearance and things like that. But when it comes to judging people, whether you're gonna follow them or listen to them, you have to look deeper than just, oh, they're black, I'm going for it. Or ladies, oh, she's a woman, I'm going for it. Or, he looks like the guy for the job. A lot of people say that about Trump. Look, he demands respect. Because he's talking tough and all that stuff like that. Right? It's all it's like look deeper. Develop your senses more. I want to share a little bit more from this article. So it says Kamala Harris is going to be the first Democratic nominee for president ever to come from the state of California. As she ascends to the top of the 2024 Democratic ticket, we take a look at Harris's ties to Hollywood. The entertainment community identified her political talent early. Okay, again, it's a rabbit hole right here that you could dive into. It's like little code phrases, right? They identify her political talent early. See, they're like, hey, we're gonna push this person. And just think, like, same thing like with Obama and a lot of other people, right? If they want to make you, they'll make you big. Because they control all the media outlets and everything. They'll make you big, man. Give you a nice backstory. They'll tell, make a story. Oh, yeah, you used to wrestle alligators, 3 years old. And then, you saved the baby elephant from, illegal, tusk, tusk hunters or something in Africa. And, they'll put a nice story to it. The entertainment community identified her political talent early and developed a significant relationship with her that could prove valuable in the race ahead and beyond. So it's like spotting athletic talent, right? But instead, it's political talent. So it's the same process. They see these young athletic kids. They see the young LeBron James playing and early on in the earliest basketball leagues before you even get to high school. And they say, oh man, he's already 5'3" in the in kindergarten or whatever. We got to keep an eye on him. Next thing you know, all the resources start flooding because they give you the resources because they plan on controlling that resource. They want to harness and control and use you for their benefit. So they spotted her early. So obviously she was talented. She's probably very smart. She's probably very smart, very intelligent, all of that. And you can see by her degrees and achievements. So Hollywood developed a significant relationship. Then it says why it matters. If Harris is elected president, she'd be the most Hollywood-connected president since Ronald Reagan. What that would mean for the entertainment industry itself and its policy priorities is unclear. But when it comes to campaigning and donation dollars, Hollywood has been a veritable ATM for Democrats over the years. With the nomination of Harris, who has deep ties to the industry going back to her first major race more than 2 decades ago, those relationships could come in awfully handy. So again, that's just one entity. There's all, I could go to the open secrets and show you her 2020 campaign and all the list of donors back then. And you saw all the heavy hitters were on there. I didn't show that, but trust me, all the heavy hitters on there. The Amazons of the world, like the big corporations, Wells Fargo donated. And again, these are the people that she is going to be beholden to. And again, I'm focusing on her right now because she's what's hot in the news. But I could do the same thing on Trump and show who's donated to him, and again who he's beholden to. Okay, so it's the same thing. That's why I said it's the same coin, just the flip side of the same coin. You know, one's heads, one's tails. All right, so I'm pretty much done with this video. I'm gonna end it right there. I mean, again, this is a definitely just a scratching of the surface. There's a lot of ground that can be covered, a lot of research to be done, but feel free if you want to keep going into it. I mean, the main question when I see something like this is why would Trump donate to the AG, the Attorney General's campaign? And since he's the head prosecutor, that lets me know that it's probably to gain some favor with pending legal issues in the past. You know, somebody like Trump, a lot of properties, a lot of businesses going on, has tons of civil cases constantly being filed against him for one reason or another, and I can see him doing something like that at the time. This is right before he decided to run for president. I could see him doing something like that in California to try to get some favorable outcome. Remember what I said in the other video about these donations is when somebody donates, you're expecting something. Again, the more money, the more you're expecting, right? So we say, okay, 8,000 is not, in total, 5,000 here is not a lot. 1,000 here is not a lot, but nevertheless, you are giving something. All right, and that something is not going to be ignored, especially that he, gave again, and then his daughter wind up supporting, which is suspicious also, because wasn't him again, but just letting his daughter do it, doing his daughter's name or something like that. So that's something. I'll research that a little bit. If I do find something, then I'll make another little video about that, because that's where that's the direction that I'm thinking right now, that he probably had some cases at the time, some litigation pending, things that, maybe some upcoming lawsuits, and hey, if I can make the the Attorney General happy, things might go in my favor. So with that said, please again hit the thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel if you're not, and I'll see you guys on the next video.